Hi, I'm Martin from Clifton Cameras,
I'm Toby from Zeiss.
and in this short video we just like to talk about spotting scopes. Now, it may be that you've already got your binocular and you're out about enjoying great views of wildlife, but maybe you just want a bit more. You just want some more detail. You want to get a bit closer views of the wildlife that you're seeing. And of course, this is where a spotting scope really comes to the fore. Toby, would you agree with that?
I definitely would. I mean, we're out here at the moment. Behind this lake, we've got some goosander, which you can see with your binoculars, and you can see them very well. But if you want to really get that extra bit of detail, that's where a scope comes into it. If whatever you're looking at is much further away, let's say there's a bird of prey circling over there in the distance, and you can't distinguish it with your binoculars, you'll be able to get the ID through your scope, especially when you can zoom up to 60 or 70 times. That's where it comes into its own.
I think that's the thing. You can really clinch an identification with a spotting scope, identification of species, particularly at distance. And the other thing that it does, even if you know what you're looking at, it can just enhance the view of what you're seeing.
You get more out of your day when you've got a scope with you. You see more. You have a more enjoyable day because you might go to a nature reserve and there might be species that have been seen that you haven't seen, but that might be because you've not had a scope to reach that capability of seeing those species because they're further away.
I'd agree with that categorically. It just adds to the experience and enhances the experience. It gives you a better day in the field. So yeah, definite huge advantages to carrying a spotting scope as well as a binocular.
Massively.
So Zeiss produces two ranges of spotting scope. We have the Conquest Gavia, which is this one, and we have the Victory Harpia, which is the one that Toby has. I did spend some time with the Conquest Gavia. I wrote a blog on it, and we'll link to the blog in the video. So if you want to go and have a read, then certainly feel free. Loads of information in there. The Gavia is specified as a 30 to 60 by 85 scope. So what that means is that you can zoom from 30 times magnification to 60 times. That's accessed via the eyepiece here. And you have this nice big 85mm diameter objective lens. Larger objective lens like that is really great on a spotting scope because it helps to gather lots of light. Lightweight body, made in magnesium. And two of the standout features for me on the Gavia are, first of all, the performance of the zoom. You can go from 30 times magnification all the way up to 60 times. You lose very little in terms of brightness and sharpness. The other thing is that you can go from minimum zoom all the way to maximum zoom with minimal focus adjustment. You hardly ever have to tweak the focus on it. And that was one thing that really impressed me. So really nice scope. So Toby, you're a long-term user of the Victory Harpia.
Yes.
What's your take on that one?
So there's two versions of the Harpia. We've got the 85 model here and there is the 95. The difference being with those numbers is 85mm objective and the 95 having a wider objective. So that's going to let in a lot more light. Don't get me wrong, the 85 lets in a lot of light anyway, so there's no issue there. This is my personal Harpia. I use this all the time when I'm birding, and some of the main features are all in the barrel of the scope. So the fact that you have the zoom and the focus wheel here means that when you're looking through the scope, you haven't got to be fiddling with the eyepiece. You've got your hand free to help hold the scope to keep you stabilised on the tripod, and you've got a hand free where you can zoom in and focus at the exact same time, which gives you more freedom and flexibility when you're using it. Also with the focus wheel is the fact that it's geared.
Yeah.
So when you see a lot of scopes these days have a generic focus wheel, and then on the end they'll have a fine focus wheel. In the Harpia, there's a geared system inside where if you're watching something and then you catch your eye on something else and it's slightly out of focus, the gear changes to a more sharper, finer focus, and that's really useful, especially when digiscoping, which we will pass on and catch on a bit. Then what you've also got, a 72-degree field of view, gives you such a wide range when you're looking at full 65-70 zoom, but even on the minimum zoom, you've got such a wide field of view, and with a scope, that is a really important, useful feature to have. Along with a fluoride lens coating allows for a really punchy, sharp contrast image, but at the same time, it's a true, when you're looking through it, it's not a warm or a cold image, it's a true image of what you're seeing.
Definitely. No, I've spent some time with the Harpia as well, and the wide field of view, it's really nice. That's a really nice feature to have in a scope. At the end of the day, it's a top-of-the-range Rolls-Royce product.
Yeah, it is.
And when you look through it, you can tell. In terms of accessories for your Zeiss scope, always worth considering a stay-on case. We have the Conquest Gavia stay-on case here, and we have the Harpia stay-on case over here. The scopes are waterproof and they're really robust, but the stay-on case is useful. It just gives it that extra layer of protection. Also worth mentioning that Zeiss produces for the Conquest Gavia an Astro adapter, and the Astro adapter allows you to use the scope with a range of 1¼ inch Astro eyepieces. We quite often get inquiries from people looking to buy a scope. I want to use it for wildlife observation, but I also want to look at the night sky. With that Astro adapter, you actually get the best of both worlds with the Conquest Gavia, because you can use it for terrestrial viewing as normal, wildlife, etc. Get the Astro adapter on, 1¼ inch Astro eyepiece, and you're good to observe the night sky as well. So really worth bearing in mind, really, really useful.
Another addition when you are using a spotting scope is what we all have in our pockets, and that's your mobile phone. So with cameras ever increasing with these, especially with technology, it means that you can just take loads of photos through your scope. And we've both got PhoneSkope adapters here, very easy to use. You just plonk them onto your scope like that, turn on your camera, and you're taking photos straight away, and you zoom and focus through the scope rather than the phone itself. And like, you've always got it on you. It's a very portable way of capturing what you see when you're out and about. And yeah, really, really increasing in popularity, and I use this all the time.
100% increasing in popularity quite dramatically, and it's easy to understand because, like you said, you go out into the field, you've got your scope. What have you always got with you? You've always got your phone.
Yeah.
Get the appropriate adapter to marry the two together, and you're just set up to capture images or video of any wildlife that you happen to see, and it just adds to the enjoyment. It's just another aspect of the hobby. It gives you a really nice pictorial souvenir to take home of anything good that you happen to see on the day.
Yeah.
So definitely a lot of fun.
Look into
and
it.
Just a huge advantage. Yeah, well worth exploring. So we hope you found this video on Zeiss spotting scopes useful. If you'd like any more information, please contact us or check out the links in the description, and see you next time.